Okay, now we're on problem number 7. So we have a funky angle. We're gonna go ahead and use u substitution. So we're gonna let u equal x over 2. We're gonna do the problem with u. We're gonna find the solutions, and then we're gonna plug x over 2 back in at the end and solve for x, okay? So once all I've done was substitute x over 2, put a u in for x minus 2, which is why it's called u substitution. I see I've got a trinomial here. So that is gonna make me think I probably should try to factor now, okay? So I put my parentheses, put my cosecant, now cosecant of u times cosecant of u is cosecant squared, okay? So now I need 2 numbers here that multiply to give me -2. Clearly it's gonna be 2 and 1, okay, but I don't know what the signs are gonna be. So I have to think, well, is it gonna be a -2 and a +1? Is it gonna be a +2 and a -1? Because when I add them, the middle term has to be a -1. So what do you think the signs are gonna be? Anybody know? It's been a bit since we factored. -2 and +1, because the outer terms, when you multiply it, you get the cosecant times 1, that's a positive cosecant. And then a -2 times cosecant will give me a -2 cosecant. -2 cosecant plus a 1 positive cosecant will give me a negative cosecant, which is what I have there. Which is why I made the 2 negative rather than the 1 negative. Okay. So that's a quick review on factoring. So let me finish this and set this equal to 0. Now that I have 2 factors, we can use the zero product property from Algebra 1 again. We can set each of these equal to 0 separately, okay? Now I'm not gonna write that out because you can write, the next step would be the cosecant of u minus 2 equals 0, and then the cosecant of u plus 1 equals 0. We all know that we're gonna add 2 to both sides, and then we're gonna subtract 1 from both sides. So I'm just gonna start there. Okay, so now that I have that, the reciprocal of cosecant is sine. So the sine of u equals 1/2, and the sine of u equals, the reciprocal of -1 is still -1. You good with that? So if I have this over 1 and then I flip it, I'm still gonna get -1. There we go. Okay, almost. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so where's the sign equal to 1/2? Boom, boom. Short angles, it's positive. So that's going to be here, right? Okay, so we've got u equals pi over 6. I'm going to write this as plus 2 pi k. And then also u equals, and this is 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. We'll get there in a minute. This one, boom, boom, -1. So u equals 3 pi over 2. Okay, now if I wrote plus 2 pi k, I can see when I add 2 pi to 3 pi over 2, I'm not going to get another value between 0 and 2 pi. So I'm just going to stop. I don't need to write the general form of solution. That's the only one I'm getting. Now we have to substitute that x minus 2 back into all 3 of these. So I'm running out of room. But you're going to rewrite this u. Can I erase? I don't really want to do this, but your next step will look like this. Instead of the u, put the x over 2 in. And now we solve for x. We're almost finished. So I'm going to multiply through these solutions by 2. When I do that, I'm going to get x. I'll just start a new one over here. X equals, now 2 pi over 6 is going to be pi over 3. Okay, and that's going to be plus 4 pi k. So that's just it. Let's go to the next one. When I multiply this equation through by 2, I'm going to get x equals 2 times 5 is 10, divided by 6. What's 10 over 6 when you simplify?
5 over 3.
Okay, so that's my next one. And if I were to add 4 pi k to that, I'm not going to get anything else. So that's the only one. We got one more to do. If I multiply through this last equation through by 2, I'm going to get x equals, 3 pi. And 3 pi is larger than 2 pi. So that's not a solution. Those are the only two. Questions? These questions are getting more difficult, I think.